Hello boys and girls, Mr. Giomini coming to you with lesson 411% of a number. Now this is an excellent skill to possess because as all of you get older, you're going to be learning about interest rates and how much you're paying on your mortgage, how much of that is interest or a car loan, or more importantly for you guys in the immediate future would probably be college loans. So all those things are going to be important, and all those are tied into percents, especially if you go to sales, especially nowadays. With the holidays here, we're going to have sales and things of that nature that you're going to have to know what percent off do you get and which is a better deal to go to or what stores have the better deal. So I'm going to use Khan Academy to kind of help us with this skill. The one I'm actually working on is discount, tax, and tip word problems. That's all. It's actually a skill. So if I take a look, and I'm hoping this comes in clear because the last time I did this on Khan it was kind of a little blurry. So I'm hoping I made it a little bit larger. Maybe a little bit larger, and see if this doesn't help us see it and appear better on the screen. So if I take a look, Jessica has dinner at a restaurant and the cost for meal is $41. She would like to leave a 15% tip. What is her total bill including tip? Okay, now let me find my scratch pad here. Alright, let me scroll back up. So we know that Jessica spent $41, and that is just for food. Okay, now says here she would like to leave a 15% tip. Now 15%, and I don't know what the 15%, oh wait, she wants to do 15% of how much a total bill was. That's what you do tips with. So when you're tipping at a restaurant, you actually leave a certain percent of the total bill. So we're doing 15% of $41. So I'm going to rewrite this. So I really need to have what is 15% of, and of in mathematics we should remember means times, multiplication. 15% of $41. Now, the way the percent is right now, it's going to be difficult. I'm going to put a little multiplication over there. It's going to be difficult for me to multiply. So I need to convert that percent to a decimal. Well, we know we have 15%. That's 15 out of 100. And if I have 15 out of 100, that's 15 hundredths. I can also read that as. So I'm going to multiply this $41 times 15 hundredths. So if I multiply that out, that's 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 1 is 5, 5 times 4 is 20. I am done multiplying everything by the 5, so I'll cross it out. I'm going to put a 0 here to hold that place value. And now I'll go with the 1 times everything. Well, 1 times 0 is 0, 1 times 0 is 0. Notice I'm making sure my digits are lining up in place values. 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 4 is 4. So let's add this up. So I have 0 plus 0 is 0, 0 plus 0 is 0, 5 plus 0 is 5, 0 plus 1 is 1, 4 plus 2 is 6. Now, does that make sense? I'm going to leave her $61,500? No. Remember when you're multiplying with decimal points, you need to move over. So if I take a look, there's two numbers after the decimal point here, two numbers after the decimal point here, 2 and 2 gives me 4, so I need to move it 4 decimal places to the left. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I am looking at a tip of $6.15. I don't need those other two zeros because remember when we're talking about change, we end in the hundredths place. So we don't need the thousands or 10,000s. Now it says what's her total bill including tip. So including to me tells plus the tip. Well, the meal itself costs $41. I'm going to add to that the $6.15 that I'm leaving for a tip because that is my 15%, and I just add these. That becomes 5, that is 1, decimal point, 6 plus 1 is 7, $47.15. Let's see if we did this right. 47, decimal point 15, check answer. Hey, we're good. All right, let's take a look at another one. If the sales tax in your city is 6%, how much tax would you pay for an item that cost $1.09 before tax? Round to the nearest cent. Okay, so let's see here. What could cost me $109 that I could possibly be buying? Something from Best Buy, some kind of electronic device. I actually want to get a slate like I use in class. I want to get one for home. So I'm buying some slate, and the slate is going to cost me $109. Now, keyword here, that is before tax. So that's it just sitting on, that's the price of it just sitting there on the shelf. Now, we don't really necessarily have city tax. We usually have county tax, sales tax. You'll see here, this one is 6%. All right. How much you pay for an item that it costs $109 before tax? So I need to add the tax into this. Now, just like our other problem, I just don't add 6%. and say, oh, it's $109.06. I need to figure out what is 6% of the item that I'm paying or I'm buying. Of in mathematics means times, so times 109. Now, I don't really need the decimal points at the end because we know it's just $109. Now, I'm smart enough, though, that 10% is really $10.90. So I know my tax will be less than this. So I'm going to times this by 6%, but I want to take 6%. Well, 6% is really 6 over 100, which is the same as 6 hundredths. Not 6 tenths, but 6 hundredths. So I'll multiply this $109 by 6% or 6 hundredths. 9 times 6 is 54. 6 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. 6 plus 1 is 6. Okay, we have two numbers to the right of decimal place here. So that means I need to do decimal place 2 places to the left. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So that means the tax, just the tax alone for this item, this slate, is $6.54. But we want to know how much would I pay, and it says to the nearest cent. So I'm going to take the original price, which is $109. I am now going to add to that the sales tax. Now here's a trick. This is $109. Many of you would put $6.54 here, but because I have a decimal here, I need to have a decimal in my top add-in. So I'll put a decimal to the right there because I know it's $109, not $10.90 or not $1.09. And now I'll line up my decimals when I add, which will then actually line up my place values as well. So let's add this up. That's 4. That is 5. 9 plus 6 is 15. That is 1. That is 1. I have a total of $115.54. So what I thought I was paying $109 for, I'm really paying $115.54. So let's see, 115. Oh, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? Uh-oh. Round to the nearest cent? I thought we were on nearest cent. Did I add wrong? Let's take a look. Let's see if my multiplication's wrong. If the sales tax in your city is 6%, how much would an item for an item that costs $100 before tax? The sales tax in your city is 6%. How much tax would you pay? Oh, it just says how much tax would I pay. I don't need to find the total. I just need to know what tax I'd pay, and there's the tax I'd pay. So let's go back here. Let's try this. So I'm just paying $6.54 in tax. Yes. All right. I love making mistakes and learning from them. All right, next one. This is the last one I'm going to do. Vanessa bought a new pair of shoes at the store when they were having a 30% off sale. If the regular price of the pair of shoe was $11, how much did Vanessa pay with the discount? Okay, so first of all, we're getting 30% off, or Vanessa is. Now the shoes before the discount were $11. So she's getting 30% off of this $11. How much is Vanessa going to pay with the discount? Okay, so we need to figure out what is 30%. What is 30% of mathematics means times $11? Okay, I don't really need to have those two zeros there, but I'll just place them there. So I need to do this. Let's convert 30% into a decimal. Well, 30% is 30 out of 100 because all percents are out of 100 per cent per 100. That equals, let's see, 30 over 100, I could cross off the zeros because those are just divide out with a 10. So that's 3/10. Okay, so I'm going to multiply $11. Now I'm going to drop that decimal point in the 11 and multiply it by 3/10. Okay, that's 3. Hey, that's tough math. Okay, let's see here. I move the decimal place 1 over here. Nothing up here, so I just move 1 of my answer. Now, let's see here. That says 3 and 3/10. This has to be money. I can't just have 3 and 3/10. I have to have a number in the tenths and hundredths place. Well, there is no number there, so I can just put it there a 0. So I now know that 30% of $11 is $3.30. So the shoes cost $11. I will now subtract $3.30. Notice I'm lining up my decimal points and then also lining up my place values. Hundredths, tenths, ones, tens, excuse me. That's 0. I cannot take 3 from 0, so I will cross this out. This becomes a 0, and this becomes a 10 because I'm borrowing 10 ones over here. This becomes 10 minus 3 is 7. Bring down my decimal point. I cannot take 3 from 0, so I'm actually taking, this is a group of 10s here, it's one group of 10s. I now have no groups of 10s, and I add that whole group to here, so 10 plus a 0 gives me 10. 10 minus 3 is 7. So Vanessa is now going to pay a great price of $7.30. I couldn't even imagine paying that price for a pair of shoes. Let's take a look. Yay! All right, hope this helps you out. Take care. Bye.